Welcome, fellow gamers, to another advanced character build for Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition, where we break down the character builds used by veteran players who leverage their experience and knowledge of the game to create some of the most unique combination of skills, spells, and tactics for successful survivability into the higher levels. We give you a level-by-level overview of the skills, spells, and abilities, how to use them effectively, and then we deep dive into the play style and combat tactics used to make this build successful. If you'd like to support the channel, you can acquire a full PDF version of today's build to 20th level by visiting our shop at the Dungeon Masters Guild website. Link is in the description. And as always, be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let's get started. Today's build is the Paladin Sorcerer multiclass. The Polearm Paladin and Sorcerer build, or Sorcadin as it is commonly known, is a unique mix of half-caster and crowd-controlled tank, relying on Polearm Master and Sentinel feats in combination with your favorite flavor of Polearm and the Whip to create a 10-foot sphere of influence. The build is all about battlefield domination, area effect damage, crowd control, with damage shield penalties for those lucky enough to gain melee range. Now you dominate this 10-foot radius where mobs will be attacked if they enter or exit through the combination of Polearm Master and Sentinel's attacks of opportunity, using the reach function of either Polearm or Whip, creating lots of chances to use your reaction attacks. By utilizing the Sniper spell feat, we force mobs through Booming Blade to sit at 10-foot range, while a slurry of spells and abilities reduces their health and movement to 0. Locking down mobs and forcing them to choose between ranged attacks, engage for additional passive damage, or attack other party members with disadvantage. Using spells such as Command and Compel Duel to attract mobs to trigger reaction attacks while using the Sorcerer's metamagic abilities, specifically Quicken and Distance spells, to gain several move combinations in a single round, or extend our touch-based casting capabilities to affect all those in our sphere of influence. Hold Person, Booming Blade, Dominate Beast, and Misty Step to reduce the number of mobs in play while acting as the main tank allows the cleric to concentrate healing. We utilize Mirror Image, Blade Ward, and Stone Skin to reduce incoming damage. We add auras and damage shields from Aura of Conquest, Armor of Agathy, and Scornful Rebuke for damage over time or as a penalty for engaging in melee. This build deals a great amount of damage by providing an abundance of unreserved spell slots for copious amounts of Divine Smite per long rest, with synergies that pull in mobs to our Aura of Conquest, frighten them using Wrathful Smite, Conquering Presence, and Fear to reduce their movement to 0, raise their Wiz save requirements with Bestow Curse to keep them frightened and locked down, all the while they are taking damage from your auras and damage over time spells, with any hits coming with a high damage shield cost. With so many skills leaving mobs at a 10-foot distance, it keeps our damage mitigation high, while keeping us in the fight versus multiple mobs and other party members safe while not sacrificing utility or the ability to combat, resurrect, or heal at a distance. So how do we build such a battlefield beast while maintaining our theme throughout the various levels? Let's dig deeper. Taking Variant Human gives us our first feat choice, Polearm Master. So at first level we have an action, a bonus action from a secondary attack using the butt of our polearm, and a reaction attack to anyone who dares enter within 10 feet of us. With a high damage weapon choice, mobs will drop quickly in the lower levels. By 4th level, we are gaining Spell Sniper and choosing the spell Booming Blade, which allows us to hit mobs, sheathing them in a thunderous aura that will do extra damage if they choose to move. With the reach of our polearm, this keeps them just out of melee range, forcing them to decide to move for additional damage or be forced to use ranged attacks, or attack another party member who may be close. Which brings us to why we pair the Whip with the polearm. The Whip makes a great secondary weapon, as it also has the reach ability. If we find ourselves in tight corners, it allows us to continue using Booming Blade at a 10-foot distance, and though the damage is much less than our polearm, the crowd control effect is still valid. By level 6, we're starting our dip into the Sorceress class, which nets us the Metamagic class ability. Using metamagic sorcery points to turn one spell into a bonus action via the Quicken spell, or to extend the range of another spell via Distance spell, is a powerful feature in this build.
Post level 5, we begin having higher level spell slots than spells that utilize them, allowing us to convert them into sorcery points for lots of Divine Smite or for single target destruction. One of the limitations of the Paladin class is that shallow spell slot pool from which to cast or power additional damage for Divine Smite. However, by adding in a few sorceress levels, we greatly improve our pools of spell slots. But we kind of introduce another draw on them with the conversion of sorcery points to quicken or distant spells. Early levels before the introduction of sorceress levels, you'll be relying more heavily on your few spell slots for use with like Compelled Duel. As we level, you'll be managing your spell slots for spell casting, Divine Smite uses, and then finally converting into sorcery points to enhance various spells to utilize the build's various combat combinations each round. Now, our printed guide breaks this down in detail by level, but basically, by level 9, we've taken our fourth and final level into the Sorceress class and concentrate the remaining on the Paladin. But by this time, our auras and our key feats are all online, allowing us to park mobs with 0 movement and move about the battlefield without fear of opportunity attacks. In the higher levels, you'll be reducing the saves of your targets with Bestow Curse. Have several passive auras active, dealing damage, improving saves, and giving you immunity to fear-like spells and effects, while teleporting around the battlefield, locking down mobs or pulling them into your 10-foot sphere of influence where you can burn them down with high weapon damage fueled by Divine Smite. Area effect spells to knock them prone, giving your other party members advantage and still being able to heal or resurrect in combat from up to 30 feet away, with multiple combat combinations every round, a reaction attack that feels like an extra attack every round, and lots of passive damage.
We hope you've enjoyed this overview of an advanced character build for Dungeons & Dragons. You can support the channel by grabbing the PDF version of this build with more in-depth detail and a full level-by-level guide to 20th level. Its link is in the description. A great companion to use as you level your own Paladin Sorcerer. If you have an idea for a basic build and want us to supercharge it, let us know. And as always, be sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any advanced character builds for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition in the future. And we will see you next time.